Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever. Welcome to a new Coffee with Cabana, and in Spanish, a café con cabana. Today, I have a great guest. It's Adi Rabinovitz. She's wonderful because she's Agents of Hope, and she's an activist, and not anyone. She's an activist in Holocaust education, and she is talking about empowering communities through memory and action. So, welcome to the show, Addie. And again, thank you very much to come here. And Florida, we're in Florida because she's now in Florida. I'm also Florida because so we can talk together. So, welcome to the podcast again. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Such an honor, really. I'm good. I'm great. Um, I'm really excited to talk to you today and get to deliver all the messages I want to your audience.
There are too many messages. So let's talk about the mission of Agents of Hope, because there's a lot about preserving memory, empowering communities, and cultivating hope. Important that one, cultivating hope. So how do you combat anti-Semitism and also advocating for human rights?
Yes. So this is a journey, Agents of Hope, that I'm doing now together with my husband and two children. I have two boys, 6 and 9 years old. And both of us, Noam and I, are international speakers, each one in his own field, but we share a method, the focus on hope, and we share, the goal to speak about Israel and to strengthen communities. So, and this is an idea that we've had for a while because both of us like to travel and speak, have speaking tours. And so it's been cooked, that idea for a long time. And I always thought it will be just, maybe we'll try, especially if we have kids, maybe it'll be just 2 months and then we'll figure it out. But then came 2023, and on November, a month after the beginning of the war, for various reasons, both the war and both, personal maybe reasons, just made me feel that's it. I said to my husband, Noam, that's it. August, we're doing it. We're not here in August. And we just started to plan this. And the idea is that we are a bit like the Jewish nomads, a Yehudi Hanoded in Hebrew. And we decided at least to do this for a year. And we sold most of our stuff. We kept 40 boxes. By the way, you think you have a lot of stuff in your house? Double it by 20 and maybe then you'll get to the number of stuff that you actually have.
You're right.
So maybe people have too much stuff in their life. I don't know. It's a nice type of cleansing that you can do. But we did that in order to travel for at least for a year around North and Central America. It started 7 months ago. What is the date today? So on the 19th, we will finish our 7th month. Can't believe it already. So much time has passed really quickly. We started in Alaska, and we chose not wild locations with wild nature because we also love wildlife and these kind of places. And then we went down through with an RV through Yukon all the way down to Vancouver and then Seattle, from there Arizona, California, and then we went to Central America, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, and now Florida. And there's much more that's going to come up in the future. And what we've been doing is we speak around Jewish and Christian communities. Basically, we're open to speak to anybody who wants to listen. So it could be organizations, but the reality was that it was mostly Christian communities, and also we get to do it also in Jewish communities. And we have many times we both speak. We give a lecture one after the other, and although we come from different worlds, there's a connection, and spread. So to talk, do you want me to say more about what my background?
No. Let me see. What was the inspiration to do this one? because a Jewish nomad, it's something, especially with two kids, and you talk about Alaska. Alaska, I've been there. It's big, but it's far away from anything. I mean, we are talking about lots of nature, but lots of snow. And let me go there. When you were talking with the communities there, let's say Christian communities, what did they feel about listening to someone who was coming from Israel and was talking about uh, the things and the nature of things that you guys talk there?
Yeah, so it's very different if you speak to Jewish people or
Yes.
to Christian people, and of course even in Alaska it's different because we spoke at the Chabad, and even the Chabad there is very different because you may have a lot of people there, but most of them are tourists. So, and I think mostly they were American tourists. So it's also different because they're not locals. But
It's an experience.
I can say that our audience, our targeted audience, is usually the people who already chose sides. Although it is an important job, to speak the truth and to try and convince people what is the truth, because there are so many lies. We go to communities that already kind of picked sides, or just open at least to listen, because what we want to do is give them strength to motivate them to do something. I truly believe that most of the world is with us. It's just that most of the world is silent. So you need to do something. You need to get them to
You're
do
right.
something, to say
I
something.
agree with you. I agree with you. I think that the liars are the ones are shouting, and they shout loud. It's a small number of guys shouting a lot, but most of the people is in silence, and they are with us.
Yes, so I'm glad to hear you share that point, because it's a hopeful point of view, and we have to have a hopeful point of view. We can't be too
Absolutely.
pessimistic. I mean, then what's the point in doing anything? So that's our agenda, and
When you let me go just a little detail.
yeah,
When
sure.
you went to Central America, because I mean, talking about Alaska, Havad, Americans, Christian, different guys. What about Central America, which is a total different world? It's a Latin world, and it's also, there are many problems there by itself. So when you went there, what did you find? And if we can talk about the Christian communities, because what did they listen to about you guys?
So Central America was a bit of different experience for us. The thing is that we did a few things. So we give lectures and we have that journey, Agents of Hope. But that a part of that was also exploring places that are potential for healing in nature, for groups who can come from Israel, or individuals who can come from Israel, who suffer from trauma, which is the biggest challenge now Israel is facing. The whole generation is traumatized. Even they say that even people who haven't been there, when it was happening, suffer from trauma. So we feel that going to wild, to these where it's really wild nature, and Noam probably will speak about that too.
Yeah.
But we felt that it's a good place. And what I did get to give a lecture in Guatemala with the Israeli embassy at the only public university in there. It was the first event they ever had with them. I had teachers for English, or students for English students, literature. So they knew English, although I do speak Spanish, but not good enough for these lectures. So that way I could deliver the message. So what we did there, in many places, especially Costa Rica and especially El Salvador, is that we connected with some locals and saw the country through the eyes of the locals, and through these personal connections, we shared our messages and we built that connection. But what we can definitely say about Central America is that we felt very, very safe. We felt in El Salvador, you can be in the middle of nowhere, basically nowhere, and suddenly a flag of Israel. Guatemala, a small village, really nowhere. No, not to disrespect
Yeah,
those
yeah.
beautiful places, but for us, it's like nowhere. It's not a Jewish community. It's not a central city. It's not a place near the embassy or anything like that. And you see, Jerusalem supermarket or biblioteca, the library of Shalom. And symbols of Star of David on the buses, or Israeli flags, really almost everywhere. So we experienced very that we're very welcome there, that these are
That
places
message
that
is
love
important.
Israel.
That message is important again. There's a lot of people that love Jewish people, and you feel it. I mean, you were there and you saw that those stars in the buses, there are many, plenty of those. And you go on their libraries or their grocery stores, Shalom or David or whatever. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And Let me go to another detail, which is also very nice. How do you connect the past historical lessons with the present day activism that you are doing?
But first of all, I do it. That's first of all, because I want to tell you, one of the greatest challenges now for Holocaust educators is that many people, and I don't know to say if they're Jewish or not Jewish, they try to disconnect it. They try to not talk about contemporary anti-Semitism. They talk about the past, and Holocaust education is about the past. And I strongly disagree. And through the network, I founded a network for innovative Holocaust education, uniting over 200 people from 27 countries. By the way, if you're active in Holocaust education and Holocaust remembrance, you're welcome to join the network for innovative Holocaust education. So I meet a lot of members that they come from different places and they say the same things. They feel so alone. In that field, because people don't talk about it. So first of all, there is a connection. And you have to talk about it. Now, let me correct a very common mistake that many Israelis also make. October 7th was not a Holocaust. You can see endless the words we use, the images. Remember the three men now that came back from being captive, and they looked like everybody compared them to the Auschwitz victims. And we totally understand why it's done. Obviously, we do it too. For me, everything in life, I think about the Holocaust. I compare it. But it was not a Holocaust. The thing is, we can learn so much from Holocaust remembrance for October 7th and everything we deal today. But I can truly say, from what I'm trying to explore, is that I really think we already did learn, how we remember the people, how we speak about it, how we teach about it. Like everything we learned from Holocaust education, you can see that the Israelis have learned it. It's in us. That Jewish resistance is not just physical resistance anymore, although it's really important now. We need soldiers, right? But we know that, even helping one another and praying, you can see so many testimonies about now the hostages that came back. They're saying how they prayed there. They suddenly believed in God. They said Shema Israel, and all these things that, it's just so for me, it's connected to everything we learned from Holocaust remembrance. So first of all,
and
there
and,
is
and
connection.
your experience in Florida, which is we talk about Alaska, we went to Central America. Now you are enjoying the sunny Florida, and in the northern part of Florida, which is even better. What? How do you see the difference there? Because there is a lot of Jewish population, and you also have the time to connect with those, and also with other non-Jewish people. Is there any difference between Central America and the U.S.?
For sure there is. Although we picked a place to come that feels like a very friendly for Israelis. For instance, Ocala. Ocala is very close to Orlando, for those who don't know. We actually met the mayor and we spoke to him, and we spoke at a few churches, and we've seen the incredible work, by the way, charity work they do for everyone, and we've met really amazing people, and we felt so welcome, and so I know, I try not to get into the local politics. I don't want to offend. I don't
No,
want to presume like I know what it's like to be an American, but I know that, you can stigmatize what Florida votes and how he votes. For me, I
no.
meet people, I'm open, and I meet people that I also strongly disagree with them, sometimes making me even feel really uncomfortable, really, like even if considering my faith. But I tell my kids, because they're telling me, Mom, how is this possible? This person is saying this and that. And obviously, I'm not going into detail so I don't offend anyone. But, and I say to them, listen, you're right. It's not true what they're doing, but we have to be respectful. So we respect that. But going back to your question, which I think I totally disregarded, right?
No, I
we
mean,
feel
we are
we feel like
connecting
it's a
dots here. We are connecting dots, and it's important. Again, let me go to agents of hope, because
yeah.
we are talking about this four-letter hope, but it's very important to keep it in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've met so many people who absolutely love Israel. We've been to places, and I was not scared to say that I'm from Israel. There were places in the US where I hesitated before I said I'm from Israel. I always tell people, I feel the safest in Israel, although it doesn't even make sense, a war and so many threats. And then there are places, of course, in the States that I feel less. But in Florida, so far, I feel very safe. I feel welcomed. I feel like I meet people that are very open to the
We
Israelis.
need to do it. You need to tell it twice, because when you see the news, when you watch the news, they show the universities and all the protests and riots and everything, but you are feeling something different. And again, because we're talking about hope, and it's important to get the message.
Yes.
Not everyone hates Jewish people.
Yeah, and they give us so much strength. We come and we motivate them, and we give them. They say that they appreciate that connection, and it's given them so much, but it's mutual. They give us strength, and we don't experience this journey as something depressing, because we always meet friends of Israel, and it's just super amazing. And I think it's also very empowering for our kids to strengthen their Jewish and Israeli identity.
Can we talk about challenges? And there should be many challenges for agents of hope, like emphasizing education, to the young people, collaboration with global leaders, government officials. There are many people that you are reaching. Let me talk about the future of agents of hope. What are you thinking about how you will work in this collaboration with the global leaders?
Can you be more clear? Sorry about the question. What do you mean by that?
It's because you're doing a lot of work of advocating and going to different places, Jewish and non-Jewish,
Okay.
and you also are talking with the mayor. But also, I know, because with the power and the strength that you have, you will go and reach global leaders. How do you think that the world should work with those global leaders?
Well, I'll try to answer that. I hope you will feel like I answered your question. Both in Israel and I think everywhere in the world, what I came to understand, and not just now in this journey, is that there's nothing like the power of individuals, and that we have, at least Israelis, we have a very strong civil society. And my hope doesn't come from our leadership, which, makes it easier for all these conversations. What do you think about your government and all these things? For
No,
me, it's always a complicated answer. That's why many times I won't. It's too hard to even react to social media posts, because it doesn't show the complexity that is in life. Yes, but. So what I can say is my hope definitely comes from the people. And you saw it. They saved, yes, there was a big failure. Where was our government? Where was our army on that day? But the people, the individuals, saved this country from a much greater tragedy. It was supposed to be worse. It's hard to believe, but it was supposed to be worse. They had maps going all the way to the center of Israel. They could have. But there was such strong resistance from individuals that nobody asked them. People actually begged them not to go. Don't go there. What are you, crazy? You don't even have a gun. Hundreds of stories like that. So, and it doesn't, again, resistance is not only physical, but people going back and trying to help, and so many incredible stories. And I can recommend books if you like. I actually just bought. My son is listening to my lectures, my eldest, the 9-year-old, and he asked, and I tell the stories of our heroes, and he said, can you buy me a book about heroes now? Obviously the stories that I read, not very appropriate not very age appropriate, but I found out there's even a kid, heroic stories for children now about October 7th, so I bought it, and he's fascinated. Anyway, so you have so many stories, and that's why nobody can say, after learning about these people who they didn't have any superpower, and they were regular people, which is also my agenda, when you talk about ordinary people in the Holocaust, and anybody can become a Nazi. No. Yes, everybody has the choice, but when you say that, you disregard our essence. Our essence is good. I'm religious, so I believe the image of God is in everybody. But nobody can say, who am I? What can I do? It's big. The Ministry of Education to do something. The Ministry of whatever can do something. And who am I? Nobody can say that after they learn about these people, these ordinary people, right? So
Excellent
that's
answer.
What?
Excellent answer. Thank you.
I'm glad. Okay.
That's power. That's power.
So the people I aim to talk to. Obviously, I'm always aiming for big, but I'm really happy to speak to anyone, because anybody can make a change. Anyone can make a change, and it's just you have to start doing something. That's what I want. I think sometimes when I think about what I even professionally learned how to do, it's even wider than Holocaust education. I think it's motivate people to be active, because I had a few fields. I also worked in an NGO fighting bullying and also social ostracism, and I was in charge of a network of volunteers. And you have, and my approach in Holocaust education is called activist Holocaust education. What do we do with all these messages? I think that's my thing. I want to motivate people to just take an action, to not say, oh, there's nothing to do. I hate it. I hate when anybody say it. When a doctor says it. I hate it when somebody in an official office says it. No, couldn't be right. There's always something to do.
Ari, I need to say something to you. Thank you very much from my heart what you're doing. I mean, it's amazing, because you're spreading the word and the hope for all the Jewish people around the world. You can live in the US, live in Israel, South America, and Europe, and you are spreading that word, and you're showing the world about the motivation, about we, the Jewish people, think about hope. And again, thank you very much for what you're doing. Give me a message, because time is flying, and we need to go to an end. And it's sorry we need to do it, but because this conversation has been fantastic. Let me talk about the future, because Florida, what's next? What are you thinking? Where are you going? Not in the US. What is your future plans? You're 7 months, still 5 more to go. What's next?
You mean after this journey, when we come back home? Because truthfully, we're thinking about extending this to another year. We feel like we're still on this journey. Home is Israel. Definitely coming home. I loved being, you asked about challenges. One of the challenges, and it's weird. It's so weird, because I like stability, I like structure. But I want to tell you that sometimes I don't even know where we are going to sleep next week. and we still don't know where we are going to do our Seder. How
Oh,
crazy is that? We have an option.
oh,
Obviously, we always have many, many options. But the amazing thing about this journey is that we learn to be, first of all, open to options and dynamic. And most of all, have a lot of faith. Like, be positive. If we are positive and we have a faith, and obviously it's not like faith, it's going to come to us without any effort. We make effort all the time, but it's just amazing how things work out. So we have a plan when we thought we'll start with Alaska and then Canada. We didn't know we're going to get to Costa Rica. We didn't know we'll get to El Salvador, Guatemala, even Florida. We didn't know. So, and it's not just that we got to go to these places. We got to meet so many people, and this is also the way we provide ourselves. We need money. Nobody's supporting us. This is
you are
independent.
ambassadors.
This is
And ambassadors, they can stay 2 years away from Israel, and it's no problem because it's important the message that you're giving. So you're doing a great job. Please do it another year, please.
Yeah. So we're already planning. We're already saying to the kids, and they want. So that's one of the most amazing things, that we're open, we have faith, and just things work out. This is an independent emissary. Nobody's supporting us. Nobody sent us, and it's and it feels right. It feels right because we get to do a lot of amazing things, see a lot of amazing things. Obviously, we also have a lot of fun being in all these places, learning so much about different cultures and different places. And just like our kids, they learn so much. The amount of stuff that my kids know, I'm learning with them. And I'm much older than them, obviously, to know it already at 6 years old. But so the plan is to continue doing it, and we will come back to Israel, obviously, and we have all these things, that we learn a lot from the people here. Like in Ocala, just for example, here, all the people in Ocala were, if I had to define them, it was serving. People who, it's all about, everything they do in life is about helping others. Incredible people. And I was thinking, I wish I could maybe add more stuff like that for me when I come back. And I will find the community that I can actually do that and feel that I'm contributing. So, everywhere we go, we learn more things about ourselves and what is important for us in life. So hopefully, when it comes to that point, we'll know where we will be back in Israel. And I will not want to stop finding my purpose and trying to do something meaningful. It's just that I'm not so sure yet what I'm supposed to do in Israel yet now. So we're going to continue this.
It will be a year and a half, so don't worry. Don't think about this one.
So I have time, and I'll meet so many people by then. And
plenty of time. So, but anyway, Ari, you have been a great, great guest. And again, thank you from this just common person about what you are doing in Ocala, in Guatemala, in Alaska. Great work. And again, thank you for coming to One Coffee with Kavanagh. And guys, we are having too many programs and too many podcasts. This is amazing. Today's Adi, tomorrow we will have another. It's great. So guys, come to the show. And Adi, thank you very much. Enjoy Ocala, enjoy Sarasota, enjoy North Florida, and the place that you will go next. So it's great, and thank you a lot. Bye-bye now, and guys, see you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.